All right. Well, hello everyone, and hey Tyler, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, well, it's a beautiful day in Everett. You can tell that I've changed my normal setting from the dark, dungeness home office to the light, bright kitchen,
Looks
and
good. I like it.
feeling pretty good. The sun's out. How are you?
Well, now I'm self-conscious that I'm in my office that has kind of dark lighting. Now I'm looking all dungeony in here compared to you, so you're making me look bad. But
Oh,
I like it. I like it. It's sharp.
yeah,
So,
you've got that cool old house vibe going on, which is what I love about your office.
so yeah, I'm excited to catch up. As you guys probably already know, that's Tyler Chism. I'm Garret Hunt. We're the co-founders of Live in Everett, and we're excited to just kind of catch up today. We're going to be talking about what's new in Everett, what's new with us. I think you're going to share with us about Everett Restaurant Month. We're going to talk about some of the new businesses in town and things that are happening there. And then, too, just kind of the overall morale of uh, Everett right now with COVID still going on and restaurants just starting to kind of reopen. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to chat about that a little bit. Um, but first, before we get into it, how about that snow we had the other week? Did you get
Maybe,
a chance to get out and play?
well, maybe before we get into the snow, I want to ask, do you have your Diedrich coffee with you this time? And
That's
if so,
right.
what did you order?
I do have my Diedrich coffee with me. Yes, shout out to Diedrich for powering this video. We love you guys.
W-
Very thankful. I got my usual, it's become my usual, which is vanilla latte with soy milk. And I went for the big boy. I went for the 24 ouncer again.
And are you doing your classic Garrett Hunt efficiency move where you're gonna drink half of it now, save the other half?
That's always the rationalization with getting the Mondo size. Although I had to get it early this morning because I had another meeting right before this, and so I've been sipping on it for a while. And we'll see how long this Zoom takes. Hopefully, I can savor some for tomorrow. So we'll see. How about you?
I-
What do you got there?
I've got a iced Americano, 2 shots over ice, fill a cup with ice, 2 shots, splash of cream. To me, it's like a sunny day. I got an iced coffee. I'm feeling good about life right now. And the coffee is delicious, by the way. I sometimes I feel like when I get Americanos, they're too watery, right? Because it's just an espresso and water, and I like bold coffee. But 2 shots over ice, splash of cream, money,
Mm,
delicious, Diedrich. So yeah, feeling good. I've almost drank the whole thing already, even though I just got it a few minutes ago. So
that
if I
good.
seem like I'm bouncing off the walls, it's because I am.
There you go. So yeah, did back to the snow. Did you get a chance to play in the snow the other week?
Yeah, I haven't talked to you since it snowed. That's right.
In a minute.
Yeah, I did get to play in the snow. I went up to my in-laws, uh, and my brothers-in-law and me towed sleds behind my SUV. Like we tied a rope to my SUV and just pulled each other through the neighborhoods in the snow. And we're all like, I don't know, it just felt like being a kid again. It was so much fun and like just a little bit scary. I think we were going about 40 miles an hour, towing two
Whoa,
grown adults.
that's fast.
Nobody got hurt. It was a blast. I love my brothers-in-law. Uh, but what about you? You've got Miriam now, so I imagine it's like snow days are fun on a whole other level.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was like pretty much her first time ever sledding, so that was really fun. We actually tied a rope to the sled so that we could just like pull her around as we like walked around
Yeah,
town. So I was the
cool.
SUV, just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
towing her behind, which she actually pulled really easily. And yeah, our neighbors have like a just a little tiny hill in front of their house, and so we had a lot of fun doing that, and did a couple of like the bigger hills and stuff around the neighborhood here in North Everett. And we built an igloo. It was my first time building an igloo, so that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And it was just crazy because like that was like legit snow. I mean, I think we had close to like 8 inches. And then the very next weekend ended up being really quite nice. And we ended up going to the beach. And so I was like, wow, it's crazy to have like one weekend full on sledding in the snow. And then the next weekend you're hanging out at the beach. And
Totally.
that's Washington for you.
Yeah, in the spring or late winter, spring. Does the weather affect your mood very much?
Um, not a lot. Probably a little bit. I mean, it's definitely easier to be happy when the sun's out,
Hmm.
and now you just have more options of things to do. So I definitely think there's some correlation there. But yeah, what about for you?
Yeah, big time, dude. And it's just gotten more intense over the years. I feel like January and February, kind of up until my birthday, which is the middle of March, I just feel like those 2.5 months are always, it was hard to get my butt in gear. Like I just am, and throw COVID on top of it too. But now that the sun is shining, looking forward to all the fun things you get to do in the spring and summer. I feel like the
Totally.
fall and winter is fun up until New Year's, and then from there, I'm just like waiting for the sunshine and but the snow was fun, and but just the dark raininess, I'm over it.
So speaking of moods, let's talk about. I'm curious to talk about just the morale in Everett with COVID going on and everything. So I don't know about for you, but like I'm not seeing a lot of people per se with the quarantine that's been going on and everything. And so I'm always interested when I talk to people about how they're feeling about things. So I have kind of my own um, experience from the people I've talked with and stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to have that conversation about just the overall kind of morale in Everett right now. What are you sensing?
It's tricky with my job at the city. A lot of my interactions with businesses, if they're not sort of events or marketing related, they're specifically businesses that are calling because they need some kind of support. So I'm a little biased. Um, you know, on one hand, it's like the morale is terrible because it's a pandemic and everyone's down um, in sales and having to just jump through the hoops. I think about the restaurateurs who, um, one week they're allowed to have people, the next week they're not allowed, and then it's takeout only for a while, and then they get notified that indoor dining is coming again, and they have to figure out how to staff up. And you know, I would say the morale is, I don't know, Everett's got this resiliency to it, it's like this resilient spirit. And so I've been really impressed to see people just roll with the punches and be so creative and light on their feet and uh, down to try new things. I think COVID sucks. Like, let's not pretend that it doesn't, or try to like put lipstick on the pig or whatever the saying is. There has been some opportunity in it though, to where it's forced people to get creative for better or worse. And like for me in my job, finding creative ways to support businesses and provide experiences, quality of life experiences for residents, has been different when you can't have in-person gatherings and things like that. So morale, let me try to summarize that. Morale is low because the pandemic, but I'm inspired and hopeful because seeing so many of our neighbors and neighborhood businesses and community members grab a bucket, help bail, and find creative ways to do life. What about you? What's your how's it on your beat, as they say?
Yeah, that feels pretty similar to what I've been picking up. One thing that I think is encouraging, like I know a lot of businesses, I feel like have just kind of been bracing and trying to hold on and make it through this thing. I mean, I was talking to one restaurant owner the other week, and he was telling me that this last year business has been down 85%, which is enormous, right? And so I know a lot of people, and so many people have had to shut down completely. bars or experience type businesses,
Mm-hmm.
like Escape Scene, for example. They had to shut down for a long time. Um, but I feel like I haven't heard about that many businesses in Everett that have had to completely close, which I feel like is pretty encouraging. And like you said, I feel like there is an air of resiliency and, let's grab the buckets and get to work and help each other out and get through this thing. I heard some crazy statistic the other week, that like a huge percentage of Seattle restaurants have closed down completely. And I thought, wow, I feel like our experience in Everett hasn't seemed to be anything close to that. Um,
Yeah, I think for a while there, it felt like everywhere I turned, a different restaurant was closing. But I think in the grand scheme of things, as you're saying, um, it seems like we've gotten off a lot easier than Seattle for sure. I mean, I wonder about how many businesses we just don't have regular contact with because there's so many restaurants in
right.
Everett. You know, we haven't ran a report yet out of my department to see exactly how many businesses have closed. And, I'm sure we'll do that sort of retroactive post-mortem look at COVID on the economy here in Everett. But so much of our focus has been trying to provide support, through CARES funding and connecting businesses with different funding opportunities, whether it's PPP or different grants at the county or state level. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I feel especially for the hospitality industry, they've had it really rough. Um, in the Children's Museum, they've been closed this whole time. They're using the opportunity to re re like expand. That's the word I'm looking for. So they're, that's what I mean about people finding opportunities. I just went to the Shack's Hearts auction this last weekend. That was totally digital and it was on YouTube and you bid online and like, you know, that felt, yeah, like it's cool to see so many businesses and organizations just getting creative and, you know, the show must go on.
Totally. And maybe
So
there are more businesses that have closed than I realize. But from what I've heard about, like there's really only a small handful. Um, so yeah,
you
it
know
was.
what I'm really gonna miss? The one that like when it closed is the sisters, you know?
Yeah, that one hurt for sure. I'm crossing my fingers that they're able to revive eventually. I heard a rumor. I think there was a comment on social media or something that there could be a possibility.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I
Oh,
don't
I
know
hadn't
how
heard,
much
heard that.
truth or weight to put into that, but yeah, I had actually forgotten
Yeah.
about that, but that was probably one of the ones that made me the saddest when I heard about that.
I feel like that was our spot. And you had like, your pancake breakfast with your friends for years there at Sisters, and Bert at the counter is such an icon. And it's
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
Hurts the best.
I just, yeah, I hope Sisters comes back for sure. Wow, that'd be great.
Totally. But on a more positive note, it's almost spring. Library just reopened last week, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
My wife and daughter went and got a big stack of books, and um, restaurants obviously are back open again at limited capacity, and so right now this month, I know you were a part of organizing Everett Restaurant Month for the city, right? And that's something I want to hear more about.
Yeah. So, you know, uh, through the city's tourism initiative, Visit Everett, and that's part of my job is working on that team. Restaurant Month is our campaign that we're running right now, specifically to, since we can't have events and in-person gathering right now, we're putting some of what we would put in like our events resources we're putting that into just marketing campaigns, and that still provide some level of entertainment, you know. So restaurant month kind of is two things. It's one, certainly to support the restaurant industry and get people out there to support small business, but then to provide hopefully something fun and novel for locals and for visitors, get people to try new restaurants, try new food that they haven't tried, something to kind of look forward to. So, you know, maybe you're familiar with like Seattle Dining Week or Portland Restaurant Month. And, you know, those are really great programs because they're 3 courses for a set price. And, you know, thinking about Everett and Everett's hospitality businesses, a prefix dinner maybe doesn't make sense for all of the businesses. Like, you know, Narrative has amazing food, but it's not going to make sense for Narrative to do a 3-course dinner for $30. So we have we do have the prefix option, 3 courses for $30. We have another option called Deals and Steals, which is like a hyper local value menu for those who are like balling on a budget. You know, like we wanted to keep in mind that some people are on you know, like on unemployment right now, and you know, $30 is $30. And then we have another category that we're calling unicorns, which I think is like the most fun category. So that's basically like mythical menu items that you can only get during restaurant month, you know. So like
I love it.
The unicorn item that Scuttlebutt is doing is actually a food challenge. It's like a giant burger with a bunch of hot ghost pepper stuff and like onion rings, chicken wings, and then 2 pounds of fries, you know. And you got to eat it. It's $25. If you eat it in less than 25 minutes, you get it for free and you get your picture on the wall. And it's like,
wow.
So that's been fun to see businesses get creative with the unicorn. Like Narrative's unicorn is it's called Under Locks and Key, and it's really sophisticated, like, you know, the classic bagel and lox, which is, you know, a bagel and cream cheese and cured salmon. And this is like a more refined version of that on like homemade bread. And like, I don't know, just go look at restaurant month, you know, so visit everett.com/yum. We'll take you to restaurant month, and then you can kind of see everyone's specials. And I think right now we're up to like 15 or so restaurants, and we have a couple kind of signing up every day, you know, so that list will keep growing. So that's been a fun thing to work on.
Cool. I love it.
And the businesses have been like into it, you know, and it's good to kind of see people coming together and creating experiences together. And you know, that's been a really fun thing to work on. So
cool. And that goes through the month of March.
Yep. So, and it'll probably come back every March. You know, this is you know, certainly COVID has necessitated these sorts of campaigns to promote restaurants specifically. You know, our Valentine's promotion that we did on Visit Everett was really sort of beefed up and geared towards restaurants too. But I think restaurant month will return every March, and just how people have responded, and it seems like something the community digs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I dig it. Well, yeah, I'm curious to hear what else you've been up to, man. What else is new in your world, or how have you kind of been experiencing Everett these days?
Dude, I don't know. You know me, like I, especially during January and February, I just want to work and like stay busy, because if not, it's just kind of dark. You know, there's that like that word Hugo, which is that like Scandinavian word for just kind of like getting, or that, oh, there's a cat. There's always got to be a cat on a Zoom call. Come on. This is Tux, by the way. Hey, hi, Garret. Yeah, I remodeled my kitchen. That's what's going on back here. So that's what I worked on over January and February. I've been doing a lot of walking. I love that Grand Avenue Park Bridge. So like every weekend we've been kind of walking from our house on Colby, taking the bridge, walking around the marina. I've been eating a ton of takeout. I'm really into Thai Manna right now on, what is that, 19th and
Yeah.
just on the east side of Broadway. That I'm like really into Thai manor right now. The pineapple fried rice. It's like all I want to eat right now. Um, and just working like at the city, and got some updates on city stuff. If you want to hear a couple cool things that we might be able to look forward to
Yeah, I like
this
cool things.
year. Well, the two events that we're working on at the city this year are Sorticulture and 4th of July. And events are hard to plan right now because we don't know what the capacity and like distancing and safety restrictions will look like. Sorticulture is in June, 4th of July is in July. It looks like there's going to be, my cat is going crazy right now. Music at the Marina. The city is not going to be putting on music at the Marina this year. I think Everett Music Initiative and the 4th of July Foundation, so which is like Lombardi's is part of that too. They're going to bring music at the Marina back, so that's really exciting. The farmers market is coming back, opening in May. Farmers markets they're not limited to the same restrictions as special events because they're an agricultural thing, so they're not considered an event. So farmers market will start, actually they're going to have a pop-up in the middle of April, and then they're going to run May through the end of October. I don't want to spoil it, but I know Everett Music Initiative is looking at Fisherman's Village again. Cruising to Colby is looking at late summer, and normally Cruising to Colby would happen in May. So May is probably not going to. Come May, we're probably not going to be able to have an event the size of Cruising to Colby, but they're looking at late summer. And Snohomish Running Company has a couple, runs are allowed right now. And they have their own guidelines. So we're permitting a couple runs for Snohomish Running Company. So like their half marathon and the Snohomish Women's Run, which goes through Everett. So, so much of what we were doing was just shutting things down. So these are some ways that we're starting to see some things reopen. And like I can't wait to be at the farmers market. And God, I hope Sorticulture can happen in June in some capacity, whether it's at Legion Park or we might have to move it to downtown this year to give people more space to spread out. So things will look different, but they're again, it's like the opportunity to sort of rethink them a little bit too, which I think is fun. So yeah, anyway, that's my spiel on what's new. Just kind of working on event stuff. A lot of event planning right now. What about you?
Yeah, it's good stuff. Been trying to keep the toddler entertained. This last weekend, actually, I went to Henry M. Jackson Park and Garfield Park pretty much for the first time. Like I had never really like gone and hung out there and explored, but that's one thing having a kiddo now, and now that the playgrounds are
Yeah.
open and stuff. I was thinking about it. I was like, I need to just make a point to go explore all the different parks around Everett and stuff, because there's probably a handful of parks around the area that I've never even been to.
Yeah, I took a tour with our parks director last, I don't know, I think it was when I first started working at the city, so late 2019. And I, lived in Everett a long time. And granted, I don't have kids that are dragging me out to parks, but yeah, there's a lot of amazing parks in Everett. So that's true. Yeah, and I used to live right by Garfield Park and love that place. So that's cool.
Yeah, so that's been fun to explore. Hoping to do more of that. And then we also recently went out to the Reptile Zoo in Monroe, and
How was that?
I'd never been there before, and it was pretty cool. I feel like I am trying to kind of overcome my um, uncomfortableness of reptiles and some of these crazy creatures and stuff. And my daughter's just so into like animals and stuff right now. So it was a lot
Yeah.
of fun. It was for the three of us. I think she was free because she's young enough, and so it was her and my wife and I, so two adults. And I think it was like maybe $18, so it was pretty affordable.
Wow.
And it was kind of nice too that like it's not real big. So we were there for maybe like a good hour. But when you go to like the zoo or like a really big place and you're just like walking around all day, like it gets pretty tiring, and you're like worn out. But this was kind of nice just to go for like a little bit and see a two-headed turtle and hang out with some crocodiles and snakes, and yeah, it's good times. And
One
then
time I tried to go to the reptile zoo, but they were closed. And I didn't realize they were closed. And I was with a group of friends, and I was like in my early 20s. I think we were probably coming back from snowboarding, and we were like, let's go to the reptile zoo. But it was after they were closed, but the door was wide open. So we just like walked in thinking they were open. And it was crazy. They had like this giant snake out in the middle of on the floor, like trying to feed it. And they saw us walk in, and they were like, get out, get out. And there's like this, I don't know, giant snake. They probably thought we were like, gonna get, I don't know if it was venomous or what, but I just remember the look on this guy's face. Get out! Like, what are you doing in here? We didn't know. We just weren't paying attention. We just walked in during feeding time. But so that's my reptile zoo story.
Awesome. And then let's see, we've only got a few more minutes left here. So I want to get into talking about some new businesses and stuff that have opened. I did want to mention too, just some of the stuff we have going on Live in Everett, but you guys can always just go check out the site, see the new content that we have coming out. We're putting out new stories every week. Right now we're working on doing a breakfast sandwich roundup. Where I'm trying a few different places around North Everett. Linda's trying a few different places around South Everett. So those ones are always fun, where we get to sample some goods. Just put out a story last week about this dining series that Jetty Bar and Grill's doing. It's their Puffy Jacket pop-up series they're doing just through the month of March. Went and tried that the other week. It was really delicious. Had the best hot dog of my life.
Really?
Yeah. It was it was like their Jetty Island dog. It had like cream cheese and peppers on it, and like really different style of hot dog than I've ever had, but it was surprisingly tasty. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we got lots of new content coming out. But as far as new businesses, it's pretty cool. A couple months back, the Grape Grain opened on Evergreen Way, new wine and beer shop.
Yep. Talk to them. My boss actually got me a I think it was Valentine's Day gift, gift card to Grape Grain, and it was really sweet. And got to catch up with their owner, and yeah, that's a cool new spot.
Nice. Yeah, Brooks Smothers actually did an article for us on them the other month, which, as you know, he was one of our first writers ever on Live in Everett back in 2015, 2016. He wrote stories for us related to beer and stuff. And so that was kind of fun to have him do another story again after a few years. And there's that new, what is it, Salish C Ceramics? I might be saying the name wrong.
I think that's right. Yeah. The person who owns that, their name is Rachel Recker. I had a conversation with her, and not the whole time, this makes me sound like an idiot, but I was just thinking about how Rachel Recker is like such a cool name. Like, and you said Brooks Smothers before too, and Brooks Smothers, Rachel Recker, like these don't sound like real people's names. I think the owner of Grape Grain, I'm blanking on his name right now, but I think he has an interesting name too, like a celebrity name. Awesome. Anyway, Salish, they're a really great ceramic studio. I should probably mention that instead of just talking about how cool her name is. What I like about that space is how much natural light there is. Like, it's just a really beautiful space to create in. And, Rachel has such a communal vibe and just a good person, and I think that's great in any sort of creative work, to have somebody who's just rooting for people, and wants to introduce people to art and help people through learning and experimenting and all of that. So anyway, continue. Every time you start to get a few words in, I don't know if you can tell, but my social skills have changed because of COVID.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And then the Flying Pig is supposedly going to be reopening in the location where Abbott's was. Unfortunately, Abbott's closed down, but the Flying Pig used to be on Colby, I believe, back in the day.
Yeah,
I
where
don't
the
think I ever actually
mhm.
went there, but I just know the name. So that's kind of exciting that they're coming back. Did you ever go there back in the day?
Yeah, I can remember my family talking about it, back when I was a kid. I mean, I think, they used to brew their own beer and they were early in the craft beer scene. It was like Flying Pig and Scuttlebutt. And when I started going to the Flying Pig, they had moved out all the brewing equipment, but I think the brewing equipment used to be there on Colby.
Hmm.
And the guy who owned it and who's starting, his name is Joel Starr. I don't know if you ever met Joel Starr before, but he's like a Everett icon, has been doing stuff in Everett, involved in cruising to Colby, the Flying Pig. He's just like, you know, like of that group of people who were doing stuff a decade before we were doing stuff. It's cool that Joel is bringing back the Flying Pig, and it's an Everett icon. And that building is so cool too. I think it'll really do well there. It's crazy to be opening a restaurant right now. I feel like that's some tenacity, to come in, at this time to open a restaurant.
And then right across the street from there, where Soul Food used to be, Soul Food moved out of that location, and I guess they're popping up on Sundays and Mondays at the Eight Ball Cafe on Colby until they can find a new space. So that's an interesting development. And yeah, sounds like things just weren't working out in that old location. But it's a little bit sad for me because I got married there in the
I
courtyard
know.
of Soul Food.
Yeah.
I have such fond memories of that space. So, but yeah, hopefully they can find a new uh, good home for themselves in due time. And yeah, I mean, like we were talking about with people just getting creative with COVID and everything. I mean, it's so cool the Eight Ball Cafe to let them
Hmm.
up there a couple days a week, and it's cool that they're still doing what they can. So
Yeah.
yeah, good to see things happening. That's all I got.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would add to that list is so the guy who started Wicked Cellars, his name is Jeff Wickland. He was running sea vines out of, then he sold Wicked Cellars, I think, and then it had been sold a couple times. Wicked Cellars was that wine shop on Colby. Um,
Right.
and we partnered with Wicked Cellars back in the day on a beer garden for the food truck festival. Anyway, so Jeff Wickland, he started that Sea Vines out of Cafe Zippy, which you probably know about. And so he's moving out of Cafe Zippy and looking at reopening Wicked Cellars downtown.
Oh wow.
So I think he's got a space. I don't know if he's announced the space yet. You know, a lot of other people are talking about this too. So I know I'm not like, you know, spilling the beans or anything like that, but it sounds like Wicked Cellars is going to come back down to downtown. The old Wicked Cellars space, they're not moving into that space, but it does look like there's a cocktail bar that is, or something. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet, but there's a like liquor license application on the door, and I think it's called like the Lemon Frying Fish. I know that's not right, but it's something like that. Maybe it is that, but I just feel like what I'm seeing happening there, it's probably going to be like a cocktail bar or something like that. So that'll be cool. I'm
Nice.
excited to learn more and connect with those people.
Awesome.
That's all downtown. I feel like my whole life is North Everett. I want to know what's happening in South Everett. So if anybody from South Everett is watching this still, if they're however long we've just been rambling, I want to know what's happening in South Everett and what businesses are opening down there.
Yeah, totally. I know there's a new taco spot on Casino Road. The details online were a little bit um, unclear. and I'm gonna butcher the name. It's like Tijuana Buria or something like that. Definitely want to learn more about that. So there's like a Snohomish food and drink page on Facebook, and someone had
Yeah.
posted something about it that I saw that looked pretty good. So I need to check
Is
that
it in
out.
the old keg location?
It might be. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's across from Fred Meyer there on Casino Roads. Yeah, it might be the old keg location.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that. I saw that when I was just down on Casino Road the other day, talking to businesses about stuff and thinking that that looked pretty good.
Yeah, but yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I haven't heard about too much stuff going on in South Everett. We might have to get Linda on here next time and get us the South Everett update.
Lay of the land, yeah, that'd
So
be good.
cool, man. Well, good catching up. Thanks everybody for hanging out. And yeah, we'd be curious to hear from you guys on the whole topic of kind of how morale's going in Everett. How are people feeling out there with being cramped up and quarantine and COVID? Hopefully you guys are doing all right. But yeah, let us know how you're feeling. And yeah, man, good times. What else? Anything else?
No, no, I think I've rambled enough for this call. I
Cool.
wonder if last time we did one of these videos, I got an email from Corey Armstrong Haas, and he said that our conversations, your and mine, are very soothing to him. So Corey, if you're watching,
Oh.
I hope you're soothed.
I hope everyone is soothed. And to keep up with what we going on with Live in Everett, of course, you can check out the website, liveineverett.com. And we'll see you guys next time. All right.
Yeah, good to see you, Garrett. Take it
Yeah,
easy.
good to see you. All right. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.